Hi Dan, with International Men's Day happening later this month, we thought we'd make a short video just so people know a bit more about you, about how Dash of Silver came to being, about the important stuff that you do and how you need other people to help, and where you want the charity to go in the future. So let's start off. Tell us a little bit about you. You can start at 0 or you can start at 10, 15, 20. It's up to you. Just go for it.
Thanks a lot for the introduction. I think I'll start with my child really. I mean, I was born 8th of May 1980. Great day really apparently, because it's Coca-Cola Day. I should have seen better Coca-Cola. So maybe that's why I get all that energy as I grew up. Maybe it's Coca-Cola. I don't know. I mean, obviously childhood was strange because obviously I was born into a family of winners. Really, I think part of one of the biggest families in the city. So you expect to win. You expected to be successful or to have something. So that was a challenge at the start. When I was 5 or 6, I was told I was the most intelligent pupil in my school at age of 6. Passed my 11 plus at 7.
In the day.
At the early stage, I knew I had some intelligence, Obviously, it may not have helped me in my later years, but I was an intelligent child. And obviously, as a kid, you always aspire to be something, yeah? I had 2 aspirations. One was to play for Liverpool Football Club.
You chose the right.
Always Liverpool Football Club, or be a doctor. Obviously,
okay.
Neither of them obviously achieved, but it doesn't mean I couldn't try to at least try one of them, And as you get older, you make sacrifices and you realize a few things. I made a few sacrifices as a child, which I won't want to really indulge to, but it's probably helped me later on to be the person I want to be. When you're let's say a massive family, you want to be the best you can, and that's probably what motivates me. I'm motivated to be the best. Probably I need to win.
Big family.
I've only got one sibling, is my sister, older sister. It's the fact that you're born into a family where they all win. They've got to be the best. It's just the mentality. Not a bad thing. Is we're born into winners, and obviously you want to be the best as you can. So it gives you the incentive and the kick up the ass. If I'm being honest, to be the best you can. And I like to win, competitive anything, cards, tiddlywinks, anything. And obviously, really, over the years it changed, and I think you take it for granted sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You take life for granted, and that's what motivates me, is to be the best. But I'm also inspired. See, I'm inspired by people. I'm inspired by certain things where when I feel down, I'll say mentally, I think of a quote someone said to me once, and I think it's from Sigmund Freud, I think it is. It was, life is difficult. Once you transcend it, understand it, believe it, life is no longer difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds a lot, but when you break it down to bit by bit, you actually think, well, actually, yeah, life is hard. It's how you understand it, yeah. And I'm also sometimes inspired when I feel quite sad or low self-esteem. I think what my dad said to me before he passed away. Like he said to me, Dan, he said, son, there's 3 things I want you to remember. Do for me. Yeah, what's that, Dad? 1, never forget who you are. 2, never forget who you represent. And 3, most importantly, never forget who you are. And things like that, I mean, yeah, all right, Dad, I got your point. When I feel low, I think of that. Those words, there's a not for me. So, yeah, I'm just a normal person. You'll think walks down the street, but behind that person, it's someone else. Happy-go-lucky Dan. I'm not, I'm that smiley Dan. I'm actually sharp as a tool, really. I'm straight. I know what's what.
So that quote that your dad said to you, did it mean anything at the time, or was it later on that you thought, actually, do you know what, this is more relevant to now?
Well, it was relevant actually, because obviously where he says never forget who you are, and obviously sometimes you forget, you get caught up in certain things in life,
Mm.
and you get.
How old were you when he said that?
But my dad passed away 4 years this year, so I was.
So it was after your experience.
Yeah, so it would have been, I was 37, 36, 37 at the
Okay.
time. And I thought, yeah, he's right. Never forget who you are. And when he came to the part, who you represent, I knew what he meant, the greater good, and who I am is who I am, I'm Dan, yeah, I know Dan is, yeah, I'm more to that, but it did take it hits me every time I think about it, because I know what it means.
Yeah.
I know what it means.
So childhood was pretty normal, except it was competitive, which you've taken into your adult life.
Yeah.
What point did it change when, at what point did you realise that there was something wrong and things were changing for you?
I think it was probably when I was 29, March 2009, when I woke up, I couldn't open my eyes, couldn't breathe, couldn't smell, taste, drive. I couldn't even sit in front of a computer screen. My eyes were squint. So I thought something might have been wrong then, and obviously as a man, you just ignore it. I think that's
because this is the whole thing with it being International Men's Day.
Yeah.
It's not just about mental health. It's about, and I know from the men in my family and that I'm close to, whenever something's wrong, you go, I'll be okay, because I'm a man, and you don't address it. And you just go, and even more so at the moment with the whole COVID thing, men probably think it's hard to get an appointment with a doctor, so I'll just ignore stuff and it'll go away. So
yeah, I mean, it's it comes to a stage where you're right there, you think you got this testosterone, this male pride. I focus on pride, it's a big word for me. It's male pride, it's pride. You get this pride where you think, you know what, I'm immune to anything. And imagine what any age in a male child, adult, child and adult, you get this thing where you think, you know what, I'm immune, no pain, I can beat anything. And when obviously that day I woke up, I couldn't do anything, and I felt the biggest pain ever. So in my groin, and it was hurting me. So I went to the doctor. So that was in March 2009. And I sat there, I started explaining to my doctor, and I got a look in confusion, thinking, what am I talking about? I don't know nothing. I'm only a patient, yeah? And I said to him, I know someone's wrong. I know my body. And that's essential, yeah? For later on. I said, I know my body. I said, I'm in pain. It hurts. I can feel it. And he said to me, I had growing pains.
At 29.
I was 29. I said, I lose my age. I said, I'm thinking, I feel like Adrian Moe, and he looked at me a bit confused. Who's Adrian Moe? I said, the book, about the person growing up, yeah. That's how old I feel, yeah. And they just laughed me off. They said, just come back if it gets worse.
Wow.
And obviously it got worse. And one day in April, I woke up, well, after my birthday in May, I should say, and I felt the biggest pain in my groin again.
But was it worse than it was in March? Had it got worse?
It just got developed. It just got worse.
Yeah.
Both my groins were in, my hips were, my rib cage, my pelvis, was getting inflamed. And I had a shower that morning, and I saw in the shower, and something was hanging, drooping from my left testicle.
Okay.
And you think, in those days, you're thinking, what the hell's that? That pain, but it was so sore, So the muscle just drooped. Yeah. And I thought, right, I keep this quiet to myself for a minute, you know? I want to see my doctor. Went to my doctor, I went to him again. And she went, oh, that looks very uncomfortable. Bit of a swelling there. And he pushed down onto my testicle, into the sac, and they do. And he squeezed in. I referred you to a doctor. To hospital, and all right, what do you do? She said, to take some pain relief. All right. And at that time then, my body was getting worse. I was getting weak. Yeah. I was gradually losing weight. And I got to the stage, I just couldn't do anything. So I woke up one morning again at the start of June, middle of June. And I had a letter through the door and it said, go to medical assessment unit. Goes up there, and he sits me down and he looks at me, does an examination. He said, you got a water infection.
Wow.
I said to him, this is how competitive I am. I said, I want a second opinion. I don't
In some
you.
ways then that competitive streak was actually a good thing.
Yeah, my competitiveness, but no, actually, I don't believe you. Yeah, I'm not buying that because I want a second opinion. And the doctor came in, the head surgeon of the medical assessment unit came in, and he started to squeeze, no lie, my sack, and the veins were going black.
Wow.
He was squeezing like this, and you can see it, like a squishy bubble, and it was bursting. You can see it to explode. Yeah. Yeah, little did he know what he was playing with, right? And he said, the wrong with you. And what he did, he got quite personal, asked me some real personal questions, and he sent me to the gun clinic, which is, if you've ever been to the gun clinic, it's a lot of experience I want to go to, I wish people would go to. It is, but it's quite comical. Right. Men on the left, women on the right. I'm thinking, I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong. I can feel it.
Did you at that point when you were sat there, you'd asked for these two opinions, did you at that point ever think, I've got cancer?
Yeah.
You did?
I knew
that
it.
Was your gut feeling was that it was?
I knew it. I could feel it.
Mm.
My body was telling me. It was just reacting to
by
it.
By the other symptoms that you had, your body was saying there's something seriously wrong inside. Okay.
It's reacting to something, yeah. So I sit there in that gun clinic thinking, what the hell am I doing in here? Yeah. And I go see the doctor, calls my name or my number out, she'll say, goes in there. She sits me down, bless her. I owe my life to this lady. Some people have an effect on your life, yeah?
Yeah.
They come into your life at the right time, yeah? Whether it's love, work, friendship, or whatever it is, yeah? Health, yeah? For a reason. And this woman says to me, let me look at the damage, Dan. And she looked at it. And by her reaction on her face, it was enough. I said, go on, tell me, hit me with the damage in, because I can feel it. I know what you're going to say. She says, I've been doing this for many, many years. She says, I'm 99.9% sure you've got cancer. And really? I said, what gives you that idea? So I just did the swab. Yeah, she did the swab, all right. Yeah, and it was probably the most painful thing I've ever experienced in my life. And I understand now where women go through pain. That's pain. She says, look, that's bad. So when's your ultrasound, Dan? And I had a chuckle. I said, 6 weeks. She said, you'll be dead.
Wow.
And then I realised my penny dropped, and I thought, really? I said, oh, really? She said, I was long ago got in. She goes, days. She goes, you're going to last longer. Your body's that ill. I can tell. I can see it. Feel it. See it. I was all right. I said, what are you going to do? So I had scans. We had scans and that. And they wouldn't tell me. They showed me the mass on the screen. Normal. And mine was like, yes, you can see it. You can see it breathing.
Okay.
And they wouldn't tell me. And I went back to her and she says, leave it to me, Dan, darling. I'll sort it. But then 4 weeks went. Then it was now middle of July, or late July. And one day I rings my dad up. I goes, Dad, I said, do me a favour, father. Can you take me to the hospital? What's wrong? So what's wrong? I said, I can't breathe. I can't walk. He carried me in there to her. She was shocked. So I hadn't seen. And she said, leave it to me, Dan. By the time I got home that afternoon, I had a phone call from the hospital. It was a doctor, and he says, blah, 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 blah. He said, can you come see me tomorrow? Oh, sorry, doc. He said, it was July the 24th, 2009. He sat me down. He says, right. He said, let me look at the damage, Dan. And he goes, yeah, I was right. Obviously, you do the man thing, drop your trousers. Yeah. And he says, wow. He said, I'm 99.9999% sure you got cancer. He said, I can see it in your eyes. It's funny, you can see a lot beyond your eyes. I didn't realise that. Your eyes tell you a lot. He said, I can see it in your eyes, beyond your eyes. He says, your body's unwell. You're very unwell. He said, what I will do is I will take away your pain, your pain. I won't take away your cancer. I'll take away your pain. There's a difference between the two, yeah? Because obviously, he said, but he said, there's a slight chance, this is where I laugh, he says, that you might have a water infection.
Oh, not again.
Oh, really? That's what gives you an idea. He goes, so the funny thing is, some people think they know best. When they leave the real jobs to the real doctors, and not playing with people's lives, because they're playing with your life. It was a battle, you know. It was the biggest battle of my life, you know. And I'm very fortunate. I know that, you know. I'm very fortunate to be here, you know. I thank my lucky stars. Someone's looking down at me. I know that, you know. My uncle used to say to me once, he said, when your time's up, your time's up. Yeah. And we also got...
Your time wasn't up.
No. And we also got a card. You know, we all dealt with cards, yeah. To me, I think we've all got set dealt with cards. Is how we play them. We all hold the key to our destinies, you know, and our legacies, you know. So it's how you play them, you know. I know I'm very fortunate, you know, and and that's why I use my life experiences to try to help everyone else. You know.
Okay, so after the operation, and thank goodness for that particular doctor for doing what she did.
Yeah.
Did you then go through treatment afterwards as well? So
see, over the 11 years ago, it was difficult, yeah. They must have been going through a transitional period where they're trying to evaluate aftercare, and, you know, a lot of patients were put and neglected, people were kicked to one side. And it went about 3 or 4 months after my op before I even got spoken to again. Okay. First initially diagnosed a lady, lass, and she said, why haven't you been seen? I said to her, look, I haven't been any confirmation that said I have cancer, no confirmation what stage I'm at, which we both knew between ourselves, we worked that out ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, what my life expectancy was, and nothing. So one day, soon after, I had a phone call saying, can you come to the hospital for oncology? And we started to discuss my aftercare plan so many months after my treatment, which is a bit wrong, really, because it should be from day one. But at that time, I didn't really care, you know? And we came to a stage where he told me what was wrong, you know, some mutual respect, you know, apologies to me, which is fine, which I could accept at the time.
Yeah.
And we just discussed how we're going to fight the next 5 years of my battle. I took through treatment, we did aftercare scans. It's so oblivious to me, see, it was. And one day we just sat there. I think I realised the day I had chemo on October the 5th, 2009 was the day I realised I was ill. The penny dropped.
Really? Why did the chemo make you have more of a realisation?
Because I sat there in a chair, right, and I felt defenseless.
Yeah.
Couldn't move. Couldn't move. No strength, no muscles, no will to live, no will to move. And suddenly, someone must have flicked a light bulb switch, came on, thinking, "Shit, you know,
This is
this is
serious.
this is seriously now, you know." When the nurse was coming in, drugging me up with all the more the drugs, I'm thinking, "No, this can't be right," but it is. And and then at the end they said to me, "Do you want to go out on a wheelchair?" I went, "I don't think so."
There's the competitiveness again.
Yeah, come back through. I walked out the door after spending all day wired up to machine, you know, pumped it into me, you know. And that happened a few times, really. It's just because I couldn't let it beat me. And I know that at that time, I knew in my head, if I give any inch of fear, cancer would have won.
Yeah.
I didn't give
So
any.
you were fighting, basically, that was the fighting instinct, wasn't it?
I got to win, you know. I got to win it, you know. And I knew I was entering the biggest battle ever because I could lose,
Yeah.
regardless of how much effort I put in. So it was hard, you know. And it came to a stage where, so many days later, my immune system shuts down. See, after chemo, it can do, depends on how big your dosage. See, in those days they give you one dose 10 years ago, and it'd be like 25, 30 sessions worth.
Right.
You do it in one hit. So then your immune system gets attacked and it can't take it all. See, and my immune system shut down. And I knew that was going to happen eventually. And I was given a list of all the stuff that could happen to me. You name it: nausea, sickness, diarrhea, loss of appetite, can't walk, lose my hair, all the sense of smell. I had every one of them on that list, apart from one.
Which one was that?
Well, you could guess.
You didn't lose your hair.
No.
And you've made sure that that head of hair has like been prominent ever since.
Yeah, you know, I never lost my hair, but you know, but I know I can laugh about it, you know, and obviously my immune system shut down, and I had to go into hospital. I spent 7, 8 days in the hospital bed, you know, and then I realised a few times, you know, when I think you realise when someone walks around, comes to you, when they got a black and white collar on their neck and giving you last rites,
Wow.
you know, twice, 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Then you realise, and your eyes flicker, lights up, and you remember some really harsh words I don't want to express to him at the time. And when people say, "Oh, he's back, he's alive," you know,
Yeah.
you know, like that cheeky Dan's dad, he's awake, you know. And see, my competitiveness was so bad. The moment I woke up from that hospital bed, they try to give me physiotherapy, this, that. I was walking up and down the aisle of the hospital ward in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I've got to win. You know, I've got to win at all costs. But obviously, I'm always thankful for what they did to me, you know, what they gave me, you know, and I tried to reward them in a way in like life, you know.
So basically, you know, I mean, we can see now, obviously, you know, things have moved on.
Yes.
You had that determination, you've
Yes.
got better.
Yes.
At what point during that, was it when you were sat in that chair that you thought about Dasha Silva?
I think it came to a stage, you know, certain things you remember, see, for your
Yeah.
battle, yeah. I remember sitting in that hospital bed chair, pumped up to wired up to the hell. I remember that. I remember the fact when the doctor told me I had days to live. Just little things you remember.
Yeah.
I remember the things when they misdiagnosed you, diagnosed you. I remember about the moment I spent 7, 8 days in the hospital bed and the care I got. And it came to a stage where I'm thinking, where's my aftercare? Where's my support network? Where's my counselling? Where's my mental help? You know, it's right having a big family behind you and telling you, "It's right, Dan, darling, everything's going to be fine." Yeah, when they're not the person going through it. No,
Yeah.
you can have the emotional support, but I'm thinking about the mental side. And I got frustrated one day. So I told my story against people's wishes. Told the press, said, look, I've got a story for you. I said, that's where you see the story, one man's battle, you know, pride almost cost my life, yeah?
Yeah.
I had to tell it just to get off my chest, yeah? If it just made some people aware that, you know, if it saves one person's life, yeah, that helps, that it's enough for me.
Mhm.
And it came to a point where I still wanted my counselling. So I saw my surgeon or my oncologist, I said, look, can you give me some counselling, please, doc? And he said, no, I would do better than that, Dan. I'll refer you to see a specialist who will help you. So I went to the specialist, bless her, and I wrote down all my thoughts, my head, told her, and I can remember things from 35 years ago, just like that. It was locked away for about 30 years, you
Yeah.
know? It was locked away in my head. And I just remember them, you know, what I wore one day, or things like riding a bicycle, or falling off a rock and cracking my head open, or something silly like that, yeah? I can remember it. And she said, what's really eating you up, Dan? I said, tell you what's eating me up. I was everywhere I look is cancer. I said, it's winding me up. She goes, what do you mean winding you up? I said, I turned the radio on, cancer. I read over the page, it's a picture, sometimes mostly me. I said, bust up the point. I said, cancer. I said, turn on the TV, advert, cancer. I said, I go to sleep, I can think in my head. She said, what do you want to do about it? I said, I've got to do something about it. I said, is it giving me a sign? I've got to do something about it. She goes, what do you want to do? I said, simple, innit? I want to have to help people. I said, I want to do something about it. I said, I want to make sure nobody else goes through it. And she was, how are you going to do that? I said, I don't know yet, but I'm working on it. I said, I need to get help of some very good people. And I said, I want to create something. I said, it may help one person, I don't care. I said, that's enough for me. And I said, as long as I'm preventing it from happening to one person. She said, she was good. She said, there's your reward. I finally got there. After about 12 sessions, I got my reward at the end. She knew it at the start.
Yeah, probably.
But she didn't tell me it. All right. I said, I'll leave it. I said, I'll work on it. And obviously, one day I got a group of people together. I said, look, I want to create this. Can you help me do it? It only started from a few little fundraisers, and it came to a stage where creating a fundraiser for cancer, then it suddenly came to this global or this local regional thing where everybody wanted to be a part of my time. So I don't know whether or not they were buying into me, or buying into my story, my battle, or buying into the fact that cancer affects us all.
I think they're probably buying into everything, Dan. I mean,
Yeah.
it's important, I think, to have somebody promoting, the well-being, the mental health, and the the physical side of it, that actually knows how it feels.
Yes.
So when you do what you do now, when you're speaking to people that are going through the same thing or similar to you, you can empathize with them. Whereas
I talk from experience, yeah. I mean, you listen, you hear it from someone who's experienced, lived it, breathed it, fought it. I'll also say conquered it. You never conquer it. You won the battle, but you haven't won the war, yeah. I'm in a constant war of it. I'm still am, because I can't let it win.
No.
Still, even that's through our avenues. I can't let it win. So it does help. It makes me feel better. I think it does make me feel.
So when did Dash of Silver start? So when did it?
Well, I mean, obviously, originally we had this little fundraisers in that, and it came to a stage I was concerned. I think it was concerned. Am I getting myself too far deep, too left feet? Too feet going. So I spoke to a few people within the family, and they gave me some advice in that. And said, look, Dan, do you really want to? Yes, you've done great thing, raised loads of money, some money. You've told your story, your battle, bravest battle ever. you know, like I'm sure you can tell us thousands of stories.
Yeah.
But he said, but do you really want to live this battle for every day for the rest of your life? I said, well, that's the weighing it up, you know, the positive and the negative. I said, well, yeah. I said, it helps someone, yeah. But you've got to go with it to full force, you know. You can't do it half-heartedly, yeah. So I sat everybody down. I said, look, you know, I said, let's, what's the word? Um, what's the term you use? Apply, that's the word I'm looking for. Apply for to be a charity status. And they looked at me think, really? And yeah, that, you know,
That makes it serious.
serious. I said, that's probably done. And I said, because obviously Dash and Silver came from the thing with Dash, because I wanted to create a race, yeah, male's race, yeah, which we did the Saltram, yeah. And Silver had to have my name in it. It's got to have my name in it. So the word Dash, Silver came together. We came with a Dash of Silver. So I went to the charity commission. I said, look, X, Y, and Z, we want to create this charity called Dash of Silver, based here in Plymouth. I said it will be named after myself due to my own personal battle with testicular cancer in 2009. I said our aims are to support the well-being of self-examination and check through the help of national bodies, blah, 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 etc., etc. And he came back and he said, if you just change that mission statement, we'll sign it off. I went, whoa. For 1 minute, having a little group of people, and I know charity applications take 9-10 months, signed up for 4 weeks.
Wow.
So having that in 4 weeks, to having a charity named after me, it's something nothing you dream of, you know.
Yeah.
This is my calling, this is my my work, this is my incentive, you know, this is my reward, you know, for the biggest battle enemy can have to face. Now I'm gonna have something named after me to help.
Yeah.
And it's the way I look at it, you know. I thought, wow, didn't expect that. And it's gone from one thing to another, you know, helping a few people to, you know, it could be thousands, I know, but all I know is how many people the charity supports, you know. And that's since 2014, you know, raised £81,000, I think it is, you know, for testicular cancer awareness and support in Plymouth.
Yeah.
And that's not just from myself, that's from people, you know. So that obviously there is support, thinking, well, actually they're doing the right thing here, you know, and I'm happy like that, you know. I don't mind being the advocate for someone I believe in.
And so, you know, it's a massive amount of money to raise, like you say, just from doing something locally.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a full-time job as well, so
Yeah.
it's not like you're working at the charity full-time. You know, you've got to do it in your own time as well, which takes a lot of organising.
I don't go to the pub. I can't a little bit anyway, but no one can. But you know what I mean? I don't go to the pub. This is my pub.
This is your Well, you know, it's also your therapy, isn't it? So the fact that, you know, what you do for other people and the fact that you're doing something that, like you said, could, you know, if it saves one person, then it's worth doing. So so things moved on a little bit in this year, where you in theory wanted, because we had a chat at the beginning of the year about taking things further, hopefully expanding out of Plymouth and helping people in other counties as well. So where, I mean, you know, everyone can go to the website dashsilver.co.uk. They can, there's donate buttons there. There's information there on how to, you know, to check yourself and give yourself a self-examination if you're worried about stuff. And there's the recent involvement of Wolfston solicitors who have taken Dash of Silver on board as their chosen charity, and they're going to be helping with raising money as well. So which is, you know, which is great, but it means that, you know, people are starting to understand, you know, the importance and, you know, the value of the charity. So where do you want to go now? You know, what's the next step? How?
I mean, it's obviously you want to be the best as you can be, yeah. You know, I'll say to you, I've always said I want to be the best, what I can be, best I can be. I've got to win. The charity has got to win, You know, you can take away all the awards, you know, the Pride of Plymouth, beauty scene role model, facial giraffe from Southwest that you can take away, whatever one. Ambassador for Cancer Research Plymouth, UK Plymouth. You can take all that away. You know, it's not, don't mean nothing to me. It does, but not as much as this, yeah? So obviously at the moment, the charity supports patients from Launceston all the way up to South Hams, yeah?
Yeah.
Through Derford Hospital, yeah? And we support them through our gift packs and emotional support, which they get when diagnosed. We supported so far 65 patients, yeah, which has come through the system. To me, it's 65 patients too many.
Yeah.
You know, it'll always be 65, it'll always be too many. And we offer them support through a gift pack where they can get the Kindle, they get shower stuff, they get the washing bag, they get the toiletries, they get the stress balls, all that stuff, because it's all the stuff I wanted.
So let's explain the care packs. So the money that you've raised throughout events and donations and everything else mainly goes into purchasing items for these care packs, which you yourself take into the hospital, and the care packs are there given to guys that are going through the chemo stuff. Yeah.
And what it does, it makes me feel better, because all the stuff I wanted through my battle, and now I never got them. You know, not saying that I'll be that greedy and ask for it all. It's just those little sentimental things to know that people, somebody else cares, yeah? So obviously we support over 65 patients so far, and it's quite rewarding to see their appreciation. We don't do it for that. It's the fact that they got someone else there who cares, and that's the most important thing. It's the care. So we cover that section. Long term, I want it to be expanded. I want to take from Truro all the way up to Torbay to have all Devon and Cornwall. See, but I'll be working on that, because obviously that'll be the long term aim, is to have all that network. Because some people I believe nobody should have to wake up to cancer, yeah. But also, no one should have to wake up to it and fight it alone.
Yeah.
You might have 1,000 people in your family, but you're still alone. Yeah. So it's important mentally. Yeah. See, cancer affects you physically and mentally and emotionally. I was thinking about it this morning. What was the one that affects me the most? Physically, I could take it. Emotionally, I could talk it, but mentally, it was hard. Because you've got the biggest weight on your shoulder, biggest elephant on your back, and it's hard. So it's offering that care, to know there's someone on the end of the phone, or someone you can meet face to face, or someone's there through the treatment, means a lot. You know, it does mean a lot to them. I can see that. You know, that's what it's about. Is to help.
And this comes back to International Men's Day, which, obviously the last couple of years, you've supported. As a guy in Plymouth that has gone through, stuff mentally. Again, it's on Thursday, the 19th of November this year. But it's an ongoing thing, mental health, cancer, so the promotion at the moment for you is let's play ball. Because basically guys
need to play with balls.
Need to play with your balls.
Yeah, but the pun. When you got to it's important self-examination. You can catch cancer any age. Cancer don't care.
No.
If you're 5 or 45, it'll get you. It'll attack you. So it's important to do your self-examination, and if in doubt, call your doctor. Go see your doctor. And if you're not happy, get a second opinion. If you're not happy, you get a third opinion. To get the answer you want. And it's important.
And there's information on the website as well, where people can be shown how to check if you're unsure. But like say, guys, if in doubt, that's what Dan's, let's play ball.
People doing it, get your partner to do it, because they might find something you can't find. Somebody else's opinion actually counts. Sometimes you may think, oh, actually there's nothing there, but someone goes and checks you, say, well, actually you're wrong, there's a lump there. So you've got to make sure you always get a second opinion. Yeah, you know.
So when you went through yours, obviously
Yeah.
you were at a further stage on really than you needed to be,
Yes.
because you know there hadn't been a check done. So in theory, you might have found a lump,
And doesn't do it.
yeah, and you might not have got to the stage you did.
But to me, that's hypothetically, because I wouldn't know how I would react at that time. So
Yeah.
So but if you find a lump of any concern, because sometimes most lumps are cysts or dead skin or cysts, you know. So but obviously there's always that chance, and you don't want to have that chance, risk that chance. You know, it's
Don't take, yeah.
it's
If
not
in doubt, just go and get it checked.
if in doubt, getting checked, yeah. And obviously there's always people there to support you. You know,
Yeah.
always there to help.
Okay, Dan, do you know what? I'm surprised I've got through interviewing you without actually crying myself, because you know, it's a bit of a weird time for everybody right now with being locked down again and stuff like that. But you know, the doctors are still working, and there are still people.
Very proud of
there
them.
to
I am
support.
very proud of them. You know, it's without I wouldn't be here. So I've got nothing but total respect for them. You know, they're working in phenomenal circumstances,
Yeah.
and they are a privilege. You know, they're a credit to this country. You know, this great country we work in, and our city as well. You know.
So go on the website,
Yes.
or you know, if you want any more information, you can email Dan, and it's quite simple. We haven't forgotten your name at all. Dan at dashersilver.co.uk. You know, for anything, you know, whether it's support, whether it's information or donations, and then hopefully, with a bit of luck, next year there will be more events that can be done. The other thing as well, Dan, I think you're gonna maybe would look into in the next sort of month or so getting a membership thing going so that people can be ongoing with support for the charity.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I think we're looking at ways to engage more of the public, because obviously current circumstances it's hard for people to get out, so if they can find a way to a network to get into contact with us, we're more than happy to help. And obviously it's also good for them to engage to see what the charity's doing. You know, visually seeing it and actually seeing it's two different things. You know, it's important, but we'll be looking at different avenues to engage, to improve our communication. But we're going to work on it as always.
Thank you. That's been really, really good insight into everything, and I'm sure you'll help at least one person today.
Well, I mean, that's the most important thing is, you know, you save one person's life and that person can save someone else's life. It's a snowball effect, you know.
Definitely.
This is what you got to do, you know.
Cool.
Follow Dan's rule. Let's play ball.